Hi, it's Timothy again. Listen, I watched a movie today called TONYA about the story of Tonya Harding, and I just felt so compelled to speak a review of this film. I was blown away. I really didn't know what to expect. All I knew was that Allison Janney had won Best Supporting Actress as the mom of Tonya Harding. Now, y'all probably all know the story. I don't know, maybe I'm showing my age, but I just like the one scene where she picks up her skate and puts it on the judges panel to talk about her string messed up or whatever. I can remember that like that was yesterday. So I'm probably showing my age. But anyway, the film I, Tonya is directed by Craig Gillespie, I believe, and written by Steve Rogers. And it's a really in it here I am, Mr. Like I gotta analyze everything. Of course that's what I'm gonna do. But I have to say it's a very entertaining film. I could have done without the foul language. I don't like that in a movie, but it's kind of has to be there because the mom played brilliantly by Allison Janney. Like I said, she was the only one that I knew about the film winning. She won tons of awards for it, and she deserved every one because she's brilliant as the mother. But her, every word out of her mouth is four-letter word. Not to mention Tonya too. But Margot Robbie, who was nominated for Best Actress Academy Award, who played Tonya Harding, that was a jaw-dropping performance. I did not expect. It's kind of like it reminded me of when I saw Alicia Vikander in The Danish Girl. I was like, "Who is this? Who is this actress? Where's she been hiding?" And I don't know what Margot Robbie, what she's done before. I know she'll do some great stuff in the future, but casting her as Tonya Harding and her performance in that film, along with Sebastian Stan, who plays Joe, what is it, Galuli or whatever, yeah, that all three of them were just brilliant. But Margot Robbie her performance was jaw dropping to me. It was so brilliant. And Frances McDormand won Best Actress for Three Billboards, and I didn't get to see that, but I can imagine how great she was in that. But wow, Margot Robbie, man, her performance as Tonya Harding was just it was really amazing. And Allison Janney was off the crazy chain performance wise. I don't know if Sebastian Stan was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but he should have been. I think he did a terrific job. What I love about this film is that it has a cartoon quality about it. It's like it's a lot of interviews, and it makes it documentary like, which I think works. And oftentimes the characters will actually talk to the screen, to us, and it reminds me of being in the theater. And we talk a lot about in the theater about something called the fourth wall, which is basically the wall between the audience and you. And some directors make a choice of breaking that fourth wall when they decide to direct a show. I may have directed a show where I broke the fourth wall, but not to the best of my knowledge. And sometimes, if you do that in the theater, it really shocks the audience because they're kind of like, I didn't want to be part of this movie, this stage show. Why are you breaking the fourth wall?" Or they're not saying that because they don't know what it means. But that's what actors do when we on stage when we talk to the audience or we direct the audience. So I, Tanya does that in the film, and it really works. I mean, it really works. And the interviews, like I said, are all just like make it more documentary. And I was just, like I said, I was just blown away. I really had to just immediately do a review of it. I don't want to give too much away. I mean, like I said, I don't know your age, so but I remember this situation, this story of Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan in the Olympics. It was all, I mean, it was all over the news, and how Jeff Gillooly, her boyfriend, was responsible, but in the end, they took away her skating license so she could never skate again. And what I most appreciated and what Margot Robbie brought so much to the film was her she did not fit the beauty ice queen figure skater role. And um, and I think that they ruined her career. Her mom, Joe Galooly, the press. I mean, this girl wanted to skate from the age of 4, and she was a brilliant skater, but she was ruined by the people in her lives. And at the end of the film, she makes this wonderful. There's a wonderful narrative written by the writer Steve Rogers, where he talks about in America, and I don't think this only applies for Americans. I think this applies for everybody. Somebody has to be the bad guy. Somebody has to be the one that we blame, and it's a shame that we live in a society like that, but we do. And when this happened, people were blaming Tanya. I mean, and I really, to be honest with you, based on what I saw of the film, I mean, I know a lot of some of it was fiction, I'm sure, but I don't think she had anything to do with what happened to Nancy Kerrigan. I think she had an animosity toward her as a competitor, but but her career was ruined by the people that she allowed in her life, the people that she allowed to abuse her physically, mentally, emotionally. And I think that's really resonated with watching the film. And once again, I really highly recommend it. I could have done without the foul language. I mean, it really turns me off, but I must admit I was captivated from beginning to end. A great film, and I don't like sports movies, but I admit I do like figure skating. I watch figure skating. I didn't watch it this year because I boycotted the Korean Olympics on the basis of the dog meat trade in Korea. But I, Tonya is a really, really great film directed by Craig Gillespie and written by Steve Rogers. Jaw-dropping performance from Margot Robbie. So well-deserved Academy Award for Best Actress nomination. And well-deserved win for Allison Janney. And like I said, I don't know if Sebastian Stan, who played Guhuli, was nominated, but he was also brilliant. Everybody was really good, but those three for sure. And I highly recommend watching the movie. It's really, really, I talk a lot about, like I said, if a film if it doesn't have emotions or whatever to it, and it's just entertaining, I'm not typically, in it. But I was really entertained, but I was also challenged, and I was also got really upset at times, and I got kind of frustrated and kind of angry. And hello, that's theater, that's film. God knows I do not want to create any drama where an audience member walks away and says that was boring or it was okay, because to me that's a killer to my creativity. I want you to be angry, I want you to be happy, I want you to be whatever you feel. And Tanya had that. It really brought out a lot of emotions, and it was because of the great acting and the great writing. And it's like real. I just want to say two figure skates up for I, Tonya. It's a really great film. I was really glad to watch it, and I watched it with my parents. And it's funny, they watched it, and I don't think they got the analytical part that I did of what I was able to, because I'm so fascinated by characters. And Tonya Harding is a really fascinating character, and whether you like her or not or whatever, the film brought to life that story in a very unusual way. Like I said, almost cartoonish, and I really appreciated that. And it made it more, I don't know, it just made it campy, I guess. And I don't really like that word either, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I really did, and it made me kind of numb emotionally a little bit, like kind of because I had a lot of emotions, reactions to it. And that's what, like I said, once again, that's what we want to do as creative people. Is we are not responsible for how an audience, if I write something and an audience member walks out on it, I'm not responsible for that. If they get angry, I'm not responsible for that. If they get happy, I'm not responsible for that. I'm only responsible for creating from my heart, and creating from what my pain, and creating what I know. And the people who, but beyond I, Tanya, did that. They really did, for me anyway, as an audience member, really got me thinking, and got me really into the characters, and really wanting to know their motivation and understand their motivation and why they were doing what they were doing and all that. And it really blew me away. It really did. I really highly recommend it. I was hoping to find. I actually found some other film that I'm gonna watch tonight, but I was looking for Three Billboards with Frances McDormand, but I found I, Tonya, and I'm glad I did. I really think it's a great film. I mean, I'm not one. I do throw out stars a lot and everything. Like 5 stars or 4 stars or whatever. And I don't really want to do that with that film, but I just have to say I highly recommend it based on just everything about it. And that's my review in a nutshell. But I remember just like yesterday that whole Tanya Harding thing, and the film did a great job of really exploring that, the depth of that, and what is the truth. So highly recommend renting I, TONYA. It's at the Red Box. DVD, whatever y'all people do on, I don't know, I go to Red Box. I don't know how to stream mine, nothing. All right, blessed night. Love you. Take care. And God loves you. And He'll never give up on you. So don't give up on you either. All right. And you too, TONYA. You know, I think she's going on to do some things in her life, but I don't think taking away her skating license was the answer. And it's a shame because that really was her passion. That was a God-given gift to her. Um, but, you know, once again, you allow certain people in your life, they can destroy your life, you know, if they're not the right people. And she should have got out of those relationships with both her mom and Galuli long before all this happened, because I think they were responsible. They were the ones who needed to have something taken away from them. And I don't even think they served jail time, Galuli, but she had her license, you know, skating license stripped away from her. And that's the sad part of this story. So anyway, I've gone on too long. Thank you. Love you. Bye.